Did you know the Social Security Administration just changed how they collect overpayments, and it could drain half of your monthly benefits without warning? Right now, thousands of Americans are opening their mail to discover devastating news. Their Social Security checks are about to be cut in half. In this video, we're breaking down the new emergency message from the SSA that changes how they collect overpayments, what this 50% cap really means for your benefits, and most importantly, what steps you can take to protect yourself from these sudden financial hits. Stay with us to the end, where we'll share 3 critical strategies that could help you appeal unfair overpayment claims and potentially get your money back. Information that could save your financial security. Welcome to Financial Area, where we break down complex money matters that directly impact your wallet. If you're concerned about these Social Security changes, hit the like button and subscribe to stay informed about future policy shifts that could affect your benefits. Let's dive into what's really happening with this Social Security emergency message. Recently, the Social Security Administration issued what they call an emergency message. But here's the kicker. They didn't announce this to the public. This internal directive fundamentally changes how they recover money they claim was overpaid to beneficiaries. And make no mistake, this affects millions of Americans who depend on these benefits for their very survival. What changed exactly? Previously, if the SSA determined you were overpaid, they could potentially withhold 100% of your monthly benefits until the alleged overpayment was recovered. Under the Biden administration, this was reduced to just 10%, a significant relief for those on fixed incomes. But now, under the current administration, that protection has been partially rolled back. The new cap stands at 50%, meaning the SSA can now withhold half of your monthly benefits to recover what they claim you owe. Think about what this means in practical terms. If you're receiving $1,600 per month in Social Security benefits, which is around the average, you could suddenly find yourself with just $800 to cover all your monthly expenses. For most recipients, this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a financial catastrophe. That could mean choosing between medication, food, or keeping the lights on. What makes this situation particularly troubling is that these alleged overpayments often aren't the fault of the recipients at all. In countless cases, the overpayments stem directly from errors made by the Social Security Administration itself. We've seen cases where beneficiaries faithfully reported all required information, only to have the SSA misprocess or overlook that information, resulting in incorrect payment amounts being sent for months or even years. By the time the SSA catches these errors, the amounts they demand back can be staggering, often tens of thousands of dollars. And the burden of proof frequently falls on the beneficiary, not the agency that made the mistake in the first place. Many recipients are elderly, disabled, or both, making it incredibly difficult for them to navigate the complex bureaucracy needed to resolve these issues. To understand how we got here, let's look at the historical context. Before recent policy changes, the SSA had the authority to withhold 100% of your benefits if they determined you were overpaid. This meant recipients could suddenly find themselves with zero income, a devastating scenario for those already living on the financial edge. The Biden administration recognized this hardship and implemented a 10% cap, meaning the SSA could only withhold up to 10% of your monthly benefit to recover an overpayment. This provided significant relief and gave beneficiaries breathing room to address the alleged debts while still maintaining some financial stability. However, the current administration has now revised this policy, setting the cap at 50%. While this is certainly better than the original 100% withholding, it still represents a massive financial hit for beneficiaries living paycheck to paycheck. For someone receiving $1,200 monthly, that's a sudden $600 reduction, enough to push many into immediate financial crisis. The real-world impact of these overpayment demands cannot be overstated. We've heard from viewers who were suddenly informed they owed tens of thousands of dollars due to SSA errors that occurred over several years. These beneficiaries did everything right. They reported changes in their circumstances, they submitted all required documentation, but due to processing errors or miscommunications within the SSA, they continued receiving incorrect payment amounts. One viewer shared how they'd been receiving disability benefits for 5 years when they suddenly got a letter saying they'd been overpaid by $27,000. Their monthly benefit was immediately cut in half, leaving them with just $450 per month to cover rent, utilities, food, and medications. They did nothing wrong. The SSA had simply misinterpreted their medical documentation years earlier, but was now holding them financially responsible. So what can you do if you find yourself caught in this overpayment nightmare? First and foremost, understand your rights. When the SSA claims you've been overpaid, you have the right to appeal this determination. You can request a reconsideration, which is essentially asking the SSA to review their decision. This is particularly important if you believe the overpayment wasn't your fault or if you disagree with the amount they claim you owe. Beyond appealing the overpayment itself, you can also request a waiver. A waiver essentially asks the SSA to forgive the overpayment entirely. To qualify for a waiver, you generally need to prove two things. First, that the overpayment wasn't your fault, and second, that repaying the amount would cause financial hardship or would be unfair for some reason. The process for filing an appeal or requesting a waiver is straightforward, but timing is critical. You typically have 60 days from receiving the overpayment notice to file your appeal. If you miss this deadline, you may need to show good cause for why you couldn't file on time. To start the process, you'll need to complete Form SSA 561 for an appeal, or Form SSA 632 for a waiver. These forms ask for detailed information about your financial situation, so be prepared to document your income, expenses, and assets. Gathering bank statements, bills, rental agreements, and medical expenses will strengthen your case. While your appeal or waiver is being reviewed, you can also request that the SSA temporarily stop collecting the overpayment. This isn't automatically granted, but if approved, it can provide immediate relief while you work through the process. Beyond these formal options, there are advocacy resources available to help you navigate this complex system. Organizations like the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives, NOSSCR, can connect you with attorneys who specialize in Social Security issues. Many legal aid organizations offer free assistance to low-income individuals dealing with benefit problems. Your congressional representatives can also be powerful allies. Contacting your senator or representative's office and asking for constituent services related to your Social Security issue can sometimes expedite resolution or provide additional pressure when cases seem stalled. Community action agencies and senior centers often have benefit counselors who can help you understand your options and assist with paperwork. For those receiving disability benefits, Protection and Advocacy, PNA organizations in every state provide free legal assistance. Remember that you're not alone in facing these challenges. Millions of Americans are dealing with Social Security overpayment issues, and sharing your story can help bring attention to systemic problems. Consider reaching out to local media or advocacy groups if you've been unfairly impacted by these policies. As we wrap up, let's review the 3 critical strategies that could help protect your benefits. First, act quickly and formally appeal any overpayment determination you believe is incorrect or unfair. Remember, you generally have 60 days from receiving the notice. Second, if repaying would cause financial hardship, request a waiver using Form SSA 632, documenting your income and expenses thoroughly to demonstrate the impact. Third, connect with advocacy resources and consider reaching out to your congressional representatives' offices, which can often provide assistance navigating the system. This 50% cap on benefit withholding represents a significant change that could impact millions of Americans who rely on Social Security. By understanding your rights and taking prompt action, you can protect yourself from the worst financial impacts of these policy changes. Here at Financial Area, we're committed to keeping you informed about changes that affect your financial security. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Social Security policies and strategies to protect your benefits. Thank you for watching, and remember, knowledge is your best defense when facing these challenges. We'll see you in our next video.